Hello, and welcome to another episode of Maths in an Empty Classroom with me, Mr. Southern. This is part one of the lesson on integration by parts, and in this video I'll just be taking you through a simple example. Okay, so here we have, we're going to integrate x e to the x. And the first thing just to talk about is how do we know that you're going to have to integrate this by parts? And I'll give you a clue, it's not just because the title of the video is integration by parts, it's because it is the product of two functions. So we have x multiplied by e to the x, and we're going to use an integration strategy which is like the opposite of the product rule of differentiation. So what we're going to be using is the rule that the integral of u dv dx is equal to uv minus the integral of v du dx. So we need to compare this with what we're integrating, assign one of the functions as u and one of the functions as dv dx, and then work from there. Now, a little bit of strategy. In almost all cases, whichever bit is what you would call the simpler part, so in this case x, is the one that you call u. So we're going to call that u, and we're going to call e to the x dv dx. The reason for that, as you'll see over here, is we're going to start off by writing u equals x and dv dx equals e to the x. And notice how I've put dv dx down to the right. That's because I'm going to write v equals here and du dx equals here, because for me it makes more sense to differentiate down and integrate up, because we're going to differentiate x to get du dx, which is just 1, and we're going to integrate dv dx to get v, and the integral of e to the x is e to the x as well. So that's the justification of the choice of u and dv dx. If I'd done it the other way around, I would have been integrating x, and then the work becomes more complicated. And the idea of integration by parts is it makes something that's simpler for us to integrate. Right, so let's put this into what we've already got then. So we are integrating x e to the x with respect to x. So uv, u is x and v is e to the x, minus the integral of v du dx, which is e to the x multiplied by 1. So what I'm going to be doing is x e to the x minus the integral of e to the x. And that's the idea behind integration by parts. This second bit that we're now integrating should be something that's easy to integrate. So here we are then. All we have to do is integrate e to the x for this integral here, not forgetting that x e to the x is still part of the result. So if you integrate e to the x, you get e to the x, subtract because of the negative sign there, and then don't forget the plus c. So there we have the integral of x e to the x done by parts. The result is x e to the x minus e to the x plus c, and that's job done. Join me in the next video where I'll go through a more complicated example. I'll see you then.